So my name is Micheline Clancy. I have spina bifida. I'm a wheelchair user. I'm 38 years old, and yeah, I have a family of two brothers and two sisters, and I lived up in my family home until I was 26, and then I decided to take the courage and go live independently. Now, it's not so much straightforward for a person with a disability than it is with a person. There's still things that I have to plan and put in place before I actually can take on something that I want to do or move or things like that. So I started the ball rolling for me in 2006, and I did an independent living course, where I moved out home for 3 months and just got to know what it was going to be like for me and the whole independence, because I'm totally independent, in the sense that I don't really like people doing stuff for me. I'd rather be able to do things for myself. Even though when I was living at home, like I did depend on my mum quite a bit, because there are needs that I have that I do need support with, and that's fine. So it was a big change for me when I moved out home and having somebody else take over for them needs. And but
What's a typical day for you, Micheline? So just, I'm always fascinated with this because I know you're so long, but I
yeah,
actually don't actually know. I know you have help in the morning to get
yeah,
you up and ready, but what is a typical day in your life, living in, living from a wheelchair's point of view?
right. So my PA will come in to me in the morning, and so I'd have to wait, like, because I have certain times of the day where, like, in the mornings where they come up in. I can't say like there's set times, that kind of way. There is some
So
leeway.
can you get up out of the bed in the morning yourself?
No, no, I have to wait until somebody comes in to help me get up out of bed. So
Wow.
if I'm awake at 6 o'clock, I still have to wait for someone to come in at 9. Do you know that kind of a way? It's that way. Like, for me, it's difficult in that sense. And I need help getting dressed and stuff like that with my bottom half, and my personal care and stuff like that. So there is a lot of dependency in the morning time. And once I'm up out in my chair, I can kind of do a lot of this stuff for myself. Like, but if I have to go anywhere, my PAs would bring me. But it's all kind of time set. Do you know that kind of way? I have to pre-plan it beforehand. I can't say, well, we go here in an hour or all that kind of stuff. It has to be all pre-arranged kind of thing. Like,
That's
it's not.
incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's all done on, like, I don't work off a roster as such, or I don't have a set routine. There is days where I just kind of do whatever, but when I do need to go somewhere and I have to be there at that time, that's where I missed out on a lot of stuff. When I have to, like, if there's something on early in the morning and I want to be at it, sometimes I can't get to it because my PA wouldn't be in before that, like, be able to come in that early.
Yeah.
So it is a bit, and especially if I am looking for work or anything like that, I have to make sure that it's in the hours that I have somebody with me to bring me there or do. Like, so I'm very limited in that sense.
And what did that feel like? You're talking about when you tried it for 3 months. How
Yeah.
did you feel when this started? Like when you initially decided this is what I want, how were you feeling, actually doing it?
It was very strange for me at the start because I was dependent on other people and not my mum. Like, to get used to a stranger coming into your home and caring for your needs and telling them what I needed done on a daily basis, and the way I need it done. And, like, I'm pretty flexible in the sense, like, I'm not too, right, this has to be done at this time, this has to be done, do you know, that kind of way. There is flexibility there, and I do communicate it very well between my PAs and stuff like that. But it was getting to know them and all that kind of stuff, and making sure that that was okay. And communication is a big thing in this, that we have to communicate together to know how each other is feeling and what each other is going to do. Do you know that kind of way? And are we happy or are we not? No, I have had issues with different people that it didn't work out, and that's fine. But and like, you don't always get on with everybody, even in
Yeah,
like,
but you have some fabulous PAs. I've met some of
yeah,
your PAs, and they're
yeah.
absolutely
And at the moment, I have amazing PAs, and that like that as well. Like, they become part of your family, like, as well. Do you know, the kind of, they're not just someone that's coming into work for you. Like, you have a laugh with them and they come over, and that's important to me, more so than, you know, uh, just someone coming in.
yeah,
I don't like that, and not having a connection with them,
yeah.
because if I don't have a connection with them, it's not going to work. Do you know, that kind of way? And the same for them. Do you know, so it's been pretty good. Now, I do have my ups and downs beforehand, but at the moment I have a great team behind me, so I'm really, really lucky.
How
Like,
long
and
have you
especially
been,
in
how
the
long have you been living on your own?
12 years now. Yeah, 12 years. I love it. Absolutely love it. Like, it's
And
really good.
what has been your biggest triumph, I suppose? What's been your biggest thing that you've faced so far?
Um, the responsibility of taking on my own life, you know, and um, getting to do things that I've wanted to do, like in the last 5 years, it's only kind of opened up for me a bit more, that I'm a bit more independent, where I'm getting out a bit more to events and doing courses and stuff like that. So, and my training and stuff like, so it,
Well, hang on, tell us about your training and stuff like that. You know, when
yeah,
we hear our own stories over and over, and we're living in our stories, sometimes we don't see the greatness in our own story. It's just stuff like that. But
yeah, sorry.
like, I can go train,
So,
and it's no problem to me. I can just jump in the car and go across to a gym, or I can go out for a run.
no,
So
er,
talk us through your training, because I know this was a big thing for you. So tell us, what was it like when you made that decision to, I want to exercise, I want to train?
well, at that time, like, I was quite overweight, and I was very isolated. I was feeling isolated in myself, and I was getting very into myself and my disability. I didn't like my disability, and I just, like, exercise wasn't something that I really wanted to do, but I knew I had to do something to make them changes. So, when I got in contact with my personal trainer, now is June Crawley, it was totally eye opener for me. Like, not only was it doing training, but it opened up a whole new doors of people for me. Because I started doing my life coaching course, and going to different events, and taking part in, like, the Darkness into Light, the women's mini marathon, and just getting connected into a community of people that see me as a person and not a person with a disability.
It's just to let people really see the true challenges that you face, the courage you need every single day to
Yeah.
wait for someone
Like,
to
when
get
I
back
didn't
to you.
have the amount of hours I have now for my PAs, like, I had to use public transport and stuff. And like that, we spoke about this before,
Mm.
like having to plan a bus trip, and 48 hours in advance to go somewhere.
Tell us about that.
So, right, Bus Éireann is the service in Marteau, and they're absolutely terrible. So when I was using the bus quite a lot, um, I used to just go to the bus stop, and it wouldn't be accessible, and that's fine. But then they were saying only you need to give them an hour's notice. Now it's 48 hours notice. Now, there were times where I was able to get the bus and I'd be out in Blanchardstown, but to get home, I wouldn't do. they'd say the bus was accessible, and a coach would pull up. So I'd be late getting home. There'd be 2 or 3 buses not being able that would pull up, and wouldn't be accessible. So I'd be in the rain or just in the dark or whatever, like, so it really kind of knocked my confidence a lot for the independence that I had. And it was very discriminating against, especially when they would tell you that it was going to be accessible. But this business of having to give 48 hours notice in advance, there was only so much I could take of that. Buses not turning up and not being accessible. So that's when I got more PA hours and I was able to get a car then. And so that's given me a bit more independence now, because I'm able to go where I want to go when I want. When the PAs are with me, obviously, but when they're not, I'm at home. Do you know, that kind of way? And that's fine. I just utilise my time the best I can. And so I don't use the public services anymore, which is terrible, because there are people that do need to use them and they can't do that. It's just totally discriminating. I'd say and even like in the sense of that for work, like I couldn't say, all right, I have a 9 to 5 job and not being able to get to work. Do you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't be able to depend on the public transport.
Get you there. Well, I'm going to open up the floor. Facebook is shut down. It's not letting us live stream anymore. That's okay. I have this recording. But if anybody has any, let's just have a chat here. Anybody, any questions for Micheline? Just raise your hand if you've got a question. Gabrielle, I see is there. I'm just going to unmute you, Gabrielle. There you go.
Sorry, Micheline, I have to say, total and utter respect for you. It's absolutely unbelievable. And for me, when I was bedridden, I can understand a bit of that, but now, thank God, I'm out. And that really hit me in my heart and in my gut, because I know what that's like. But for you on a daily basis, like, because I can get up now, and I agree with you, people that don't know what disability is like don't get it, and also when you're awake from 6 to 9, say if you're waiting for your PA to come in, what do you actually do on them mornings, say, to mind yourself, do you know? Because I couldn't get my head around it.
I use that time. I do get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I did to a certain extent get frustrated, but now the mindset that I'm in now, like I utilize it, or I watch TV, or I meditate, or I use the time to write things down. Do you know, that kind of way? Or maybe go sleep for a little bit longer.
That's amazing. The courage, I don't even know if you realise your strength and resilience is off the charts. Honest to God, it's amazing.
Thank you.
It really is amazing.
Yeah.
You should be out there more, Micheline, telling people your story, honestly. You really, really, it's amazing.
That's it. I need to get that confidence to do it, you know, that kind of way.
Share this video when it's recorded.
Yeah, I will.
It's powerful. Definitely. But look at the difference in you. We know you now. I just know you, getting to know you now this last year. And when I watched your initial videos at the start, the nerves were there. That whole quiver in the voice is gone. You're just you.
Yeah, and your face is totally different. Yeah.
Sue was talking to me this morning, and she was saying, like, the difference in your voice notes and on camera and everything, like, so different. Like, and I'm like, yeah, it is. Definitely, I can say it now that they are different to what they were, which is great. Like, and it's only for this group and all that because I'm doing it and I have the network of people and it is. It's much better. I just have to do it a little bit more. I don't know what
strength was inside you as well. You know, some people still wouldn't do it even though they have the support. But that's strength.
I need to do it a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know.
This is incredible. So Ciara's saying there you're flowing more confidently now, which is a natural. Ciara, do you want to talk? Elaine wants to ask you a question there. I'm going to unmute you.
Hi, Micheline. No, what I wanted to say was that I had experienced, my daughter was in a bad accident and I had to bring her to Dublin to several appointments. And I was horrified at, I was going to multinational companies because she was interviewing for internships and stuff.
Yeah.
And these multinationals, when I asked, would ring ahead to see what wheelchair facilities they had, what access. It was appalling.
Yeah.
Absolutely appalling. And one place said, we have one place, but it's actually utilized. One of our employees uses it, and I'm going, and for me, that wasn't good enough. You know, like
No.
I really was horrified. And I remember driving up to the gate. This is to this particular place, just off Harcourt Street. And I just said to Harriet, I don't care. And I drove up to the gate, pressed the buzzer because it's in staff only, and the door's open. And I flew in the car, and the guy came running out and, you know, where's your pass? And you're not supposed to be here. And I just said, I have a wheelchair user here and I need to get in. And I'm sorry, but, you know, and that's me driving. You know, I can just imagine like you going in, you're not going to, you don't want to fuss, oh, stop, oh, leave. You know, it's not right.
No.
I was so mad. I just, and it was everywhere. And I remember one of the evenings we went to Dundrum shopping centre and I thought, oh my God, this is fabulous.
Yeah.
You could get out of your car, you could go to the lift, you could live, you could breathe. These other places, everything was a nightmare. Getting through the doors, it was lip service.
Yeah.
You know, so hats off to you. You know, it's amazing what you're doing, and you'd be an inspiration to other wheelchair users. You know,
Yeah.
and you've a voice, and you know it should be heard. You know.
Yeah. And I know I'm a wheelchair user, but like this goes for able-bodied people as well. Do you know, like my circumstances and all of this, like it's only that we do things in different ways, but we're still the same people. Do you know what I mean? And we still come across as with the same like challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that we all do it in a different way. So, like I'm open to help anybody, like support anybody. You know, it's not just people with disabilities.
Yeah.
Well, let me just see, has anybody else got any questions? Anybody else got any questions? Siobhan. And I think Christine has one as well. This is great. So unmute there. So take it away, Siobhan.
Hi, Mitch.
Oh, here we go now.
I'm so proud of you, darling. I've known you for years, but I've gotten such an insight as to how you live, and it's amazing, and the challenges that you overcome, and your courage is just oozing through the screen to me. Like, so you should be so proud of yourself. But my question, please.
Oh my God.
Is that you and I live independently, and we both know that there's 3 different types of independence. You can be independent living at home, you could be independent with carers, and you could be independent out on your own. I would like to know what gave you that courage, that spurt to make that decision to say, do you know what, lads, I'm going to do this. What gave you that?
I kind of didn't want to. Right, yeah, this is the biggest thing. I know my family are getting older, like my mum and dad, and I didn't want to have to depend on them for all of my life, because when they're no longer here anymore, then what would I do? I'd be lost, you know, and I wouldn't know where to go, or I'd have nobody to help me. Even though I have a big family, I still wouldn't like anybody else doing it. So and I was looking at my brothers and sisters as well, look at like they're moving out in their families and my wider community, and I was like, well, why can't I do this? Like, do you know what I mean? I want to be able to have my own responsibilities and not depend on other people, and just to see what it's like in an open world of living independently. And it's not just living out in your own space. Like, it's not just independence, it's having your own home, you know, and doing the daily things that other people do, having responsibility, bills, shopping, all that kind of stuff. And being able to come and go when I want, and eat when I want, and watch TV when I want. Do you know, that kind of way, not being in a family environment saying, oh, you have your dinner at this time, or your breakfast at this time, kind of thing. Do you know, that kind of way? It's all just me wanting to be independent in that way.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Siobhan. Now, who else? Christine has a question for you. I'm going to unmute you there, Christine. Oh, there you go. Take it away.
Hi, Micheline.
Hi.
I just want to thank you. Just listening to you there, and one thing that struck me was when you said with changing with the PAs. You know, if you didn't feel that they were right for you, because
Yeah.
a friend of mine, her father was in a quad bike accident a couple of years ago, so he's now disabled from the neck down, and
Yeah.
they've had experiences of changing staff and all that numerous times, but I find it such a brilliant thing that you can actually speak up and say that, and know that, like, if your energy isn't matching with someone that's there to help you, you're able to
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
And just to say that to you, like, being able to speak and being able to say exactly
Yeah.
what is right for you and what's not right for you. That's,
See, when I first started using PAs, I was in a service where I have my PAs with the Irish Wheelchair Association, so I was in a service that was supported. So they were the ones that would hire my PAs and bring them into me. But when I first did that, I said I wanted to meet them before and interview them before they came into me, instead of them just sending somebody randomly into me.
That's brilliant.
Because I just feel I wanted to get a connection with them beforehand. So, and then they were in charge of all my hours and how my hours were run.
Okay.
But now I have my own service within the Irish Wheelchair Association. So I do all my times and my rosters and stuff like that. But yeah, they still work with other people as well. So I have to be mindful of that too.
Okay.
So it is a bit more flexible in what we do and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it is much better this way. And like, I tell them the times and stuff like that. So yeah, it is much better.
Can I ask you if for people to get in touch with you,
Yeah.
your details, that would be great.
Yeah, well, my coaching page is Wheel into Wellness Coaching, and that's on Facebook, so they can message me through that, or they can email me on Wheel into Wellness Coaching at gmail.com. All my stuff is on that, so if anybody wants to.
And obviously, would you have experience then with, we'll say, even the family members of people like that? Now, say for my friend, who obviously this is a situation that their family have never been in. So have you experience of I suppose offering advice and coaching to those family members because of your situation?
Sorry, say that again, sir.
Sorry, it's quite a long-winded question. So we'd say my friend whose father is now in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Have you experience of like, say, advice or guidance for
I
family
have done
members?
it in the past, yeah, for people that are looking for advice on what to do. Like outside my coaching, I did that, and this is where it kind of brought me into doing coaching.
Okay.
Because it's brought it wider then, do you know, that kind of way.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, I would be able to give people advice on what to do or where to go. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Anybody else got a question? Sinead D has. Good morning. I was going to say it's good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Am I unmuted?
You are indeed.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. Absolutely brilliant, Micheline. I was watching you actually on Facebook, and then it went down.
Oh
no! Anyway, here I am. So my question for you is for people who are out there who have a disability.
Yeah.
How would you advise people, and advise is the right word, to deal with people who see the disability and not the person? How would you tell people to deal with that? And my other question is, this is an assumption, but I'm assuming that you would have been, dealing with a lot of healthcare professionals. Yeah. And how do you recommend people negotiate their way around that? Because there's a power dynamic there. And how can people, in order for people to be assertive? That's a huge question, I know.
Yeah, I know. A lot of it is personal, right? Is a personality, whether they see their disability or not, and their needs. Everybody's needs is different, and the severity of the disability is different. I'm just lucky that I don't have a severe disability. Yes, I can't walk, but I can still get around in my chair. And like, I need very little help to go on my daily basis. Also, like, my family were very supportive to me and didn't overthink me being a person with a disability. Whereas I do come across other people's families or other people that have a disability, and their families will not let them go or wrap them up in cotton wool, and that really kills me, because it's so unfair. Because like that, when I was speaking about before, if their parents are gone, what are they going to do? You know, their independence is taken over by them and not by themselves. Do you know, that kind of way? So it's kind of taken away. That is very hard, I have to say. Medically,
do you think then it's more? Do you think, Micheline, kind of what you're saying is that it's more in people? It's more how you see it yourself in your head, how you view it yourself in your head.
Definitely,
that's more important.
And Siobhan would definitely go with me on this. Like, it depends on the people. Like, we come across so many people that they listen to their parents too much, and it's like, right, I can't do, like, I was like that when I was at home. I'd have to tell my mum and dad where I want to go and what I want to do, and always ringing them and letting them know that I'm home and stuff like that. But when I moved out, I did that for a little while, but after that, like, I don't do that anymore. Do you know, that kind of way? I'm totally independent now. They don't need to know. They only on a need to know basis. Yeah, they do try and tell you what to do sometimes and how to live, but I don't listen to that anymore because I'm my own person. Sorry, I know I'm being cheeky, but
you're not 100%. That's, I mean, I think you're right. You're a person, you know, we're all
because if I was to think about them the whole time and what they taught and all this kind of stuff, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. I actually, this is one of my biggest things. I actually don't tell them what I'm doing. I just go and do it. And even when I was going to live independently, I didn't tell them that I was doing it until a little while closer to it. And it was like, but they supported me 100% in this.
Excellent.
100%.
Fabulous. Great question. Oh my God, Micheline, you're going to have so much work to do. I'm taking notes here. You're on fire. Thank you, Sinead. Anybody else got a question before we wrap it up for today? Let me see. Where are we going here? Am I not missing out on anybody now? I don't want to miss anybody. No, I think we have everybody. All the questions are answered.
Cool.
Oh my goodness, that was incredible. You know, you can know somebody, but then when you have a conversation like this one, you really get to know somebody. So thank you for being open and honest and for letting us into your world today.
You're welcome.
And I know that takes courage.
Yeah, it does.
That takes courage. You know? So well done. You look beautiful. You look absolutely stunning. And I am so delighted to see and feel your confidence oozing out of you today.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it's because I know everybody now, that kind of way. It makes me feel like that bit more confidence that I can do it. Like, you know, so thank you for letting me do this. It's really good.
You raised your hand, honey.
I know I did. And I was like, before, when I came on, I was like, oh no, I have to do this kind of thing. But I'm glad I did it now.
I'm glad, and we're all glad you did, because you're after inspiring us all. So thank you so much.
I actually like this thing online now, though. Kind of, you will talk, so maybe it's something for going forward.